Hi guys, and welcome to the video. As you may have seen in the title, in this video I'm going to take a look on eBay and look at a very specific niche. I want to start doing a bit of a series of these videos where I delve into eBay and explore a niche and find out what sells. As you may have seen from the title, this one is about vintage skateboards. The other day I was looking into this niche myself because back in the late 80s, I was quite into skateboarding, and I was actually trying to see if I could find any of the boards that I used to skate. I didn't manage to find any of those boards, but I found it was a fascinating search to do to find out the sort of prices these vintage boards are going for. And I think you will be surprised. I certainly was, and I'm into it, and I know, why these boards are quite sought after. So I thought it'd make an interesting video. I'm going to screen share in a minute. We'll go into eBay and I'll do some searches, and yeah, you'll see what I mean. It is quite an eye-opener to see what these old skateboards are going for. And with a little bit of knowledge, you can pick these things up if you see them, and they can be worth some serious cash. So without further waffling, we will screen share and go into eBay. So let's do that. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen here. This is just the eBay search page. And we will search, what should we do? Vintage skateboard. Vintage skateboard. And then we will refine it. Well, we'll go completed and sold. And let's go complete skateboards. You can do really well just picking up the boards, but for the purpose of this video, we'll refine it to complete boards. And then just to spice it up a bit, we'll go highest first over here. So you can sort a list. If you do a search, you can sort it up here in this menu. So if we go highest price there, right, here we go. So right at the top there, this is a vintage Natas. Now Natas was a skater. What was his name? Natas Kaupas. I found a couple of his boards when I was searching the other day. He was big in the 80s, about the sort of time I was skateboarding. So let's go into this one. Click through to the original listing. Now this is sold. Ooh, where's it gone? For £1,000 by the look of it. And that's not even a complete board. You see the holes for the trucks. So that is just a used skateboard. Apparently sold for $999. Did that actually sell? Let me come out of here. Yeah, it's green there, which indicates. Well, I've searched for sold, so that is crazy. Another one here, vintage Guy Mariano skateboard. That green line through it means they took an offer. Here's another Natas deck. If we go into this is one I looked at the other day, actually. This, again, although I've searched complete skateboards, you can see up here, this is just the deck, so just the wooden part of the board. Sold for $450. And look at the amount of wear on that. So that gives you an indication. If you see a beat up old skateboard, it's unlikely if you weren't into skateboarding, you're not going to remember the names. You might remember Tony Hawk because everybody's heard of him. Maybe Steve Caballero, some of the famous ones. But, if it's a couple of pound at a car boot, it's worth taking a punt on. You can see the tail there. Got loads of wear on it. You can see the screw holes there for where the trucks were put on. That's all it is, just the board. And that has sold, it's finished at $450. It's quite a famous deck, this sock puppet deck. Let's see if there's any more pictures. Yeah, so that's the top side of the board. So the grip tape's been taken off. You can see there's some water damage at the end there. So that gives you an idea. This is the sort of thing, if you didn't have the knowledge, you would walk past that at a car boot sale or in a charity shop. and think it had no value. And there you can see that one has sold for $450, and that is just the board. So that is, it's crazy, but people want this. People want to buy back, you know, what they were skating in the 80s. Here's another one. This is one I found the other day when I was searching 1980s boards. Again, same skater, Natas Kaupas, and that has sold. This is a complete board, so it's a complete setup. Oh, was it gone? 325. That one's gone for. That's a really nice. That's the Santa Monica boards one there. Santa Monica Airlines. That logo in the middle. There you go. This is not a toy. So there you go. Let's see if we can find any more different skaters. Some you might have heard of. Bruce Logan, Earth Ski, Gullwing Trucks, Kryptonics wheels. So that's a really vintage looking one. Sort of skinny board before they went sort of this 80s style wider boards. 50s and 60s skinny there, that little surfer one. 213. Fiberglass USA board. Look at that, 131. I don't even know if that's got any trucks with it. Wow. Skull Skates vintage skateboard Mondo Mutiny took an offer somewhere below 175. But you can see, here's a classic, absolute classic. Yeah, this one I looked at when I searched 1980s boards the other week. This is a Vision. This is right bang on when I was skateboarding. And it was such a popular board. It was a huge selling board, really distinctive. And a lot of people are looking for this. That sold for 200. If you can remember Vision, any Vision board will be worth money. And look at the wear that's got. Those trucks have been thrashed. It's got these little side grips. They were really popular back then. Or rails, as they were called. It's got the grip tape on it. In pretty good condition, really, on the top. But you'll see that tail has had so much wear. Oh, there's no close-up on the tail. But there you go. You see something like this hanging around in a barn or at the car boot sale. You know it's worth money, particularly with that name on it. Let's see if we can find any more brands that you could, or skaters that you could try and remember. Vintage skateboard, 115. Deathbox. Yeah, here's another cool one. I remember seeing this the other week when I was looking. Oh, sorry, I meant to go into the listing. Hold on. And this one has sold for just over 100. See if we can see the graphics on that. Oh, it's got the black and white photos on it. See a fair bit of wear, but not too bad. It's obviously been skated, but not a lot. So that was a Deathbox board. Let's see if we can find any more. There's Natas again. Now, obviously, Tony Hawk is a big name. If you see a Tony Hawk vintage board, it'll be worth money. These little skinny ones that don't look like they'd be worth much really are like 1970s board. I had one just like this as a kid that I picked up at Jumble Sale with these like soft, they had red wheels on it. It had red wheels on it as well. Really similar to that, and I don't know what I did with it. There's another Vision one there. 1980s Vision board, sold for 65. These really vintage looking 70s ones here. Still good money in those. Tom Boyle H Street board there, 62. Let's see if we can find some more named boards. Going Trucks, OJ Wheels, Santa Cruz, yeah, OJ Wheels. Don't know if that's attributed to a specific skater. But you can see it doesn't really matter. Here you go, here's a Hawk board. Now this is a name, even if you're not into, even if you weren't into skateboarding ever, pretty much everybody's heard of Tony Hawk because of the game series and the fact that he became a pretty big celebrity on the back of it. So this is actually a 90s board, but fairly early. Really simple board, actually. Simple graphics. And that one sold for $44.97, so not a great deal. Again, you get the earlier 80s boards. I'd imagine they'd be going for a lot more. But Tony Hawk, certainly look out for him. Vintage Complete Skateboard 1980s. Now this looks like a cheap sort of Toys R Us job to me. Yeah. Yeah, that is a fairly, at the time when I was skating, I wouldn't have touched this. But there it is, being sold now for 35 quid. So, you know, we've come down a lot from the rare stuff. But there you go. Let's see if we can, what did I refine it as at the beginning? Hold on, let me come back up here. So, just trying to think if I can take off somebody. How do I take off the vintage skateboard? There we go. So this will open up a little bit. There's just a deck, a Louis Vuitton. Blimey. I don't know what the offer was taken, but that went for something under 2,700 odd. Vintage blind, Jason Lee, slick bottom. I don't know who or what that is. Santa Cruz. Yeah, I remember seeing that when I searched. That's just the board. Classic skull design. 1989. So that was bang on when I was skating. I remember these designs being just huge. Is that a used board? Yeah, it's used. That's in such good condition. You can see actually here in this picture, these wavy lines, that's where the grip tape was stuck on, but they've cut the grip tape and then left those like centimeter gaps in between. Yeah, they've done the same at the front there. So somebody's taken the time to get the grip tape off that. I guess that's where it's coming from, this guy, is it? No, that can't be. That's just a Santa Cruz picture from back in the day, I think. Yeah, and there's the board. That's cool. These are like 80 Santa Cruz boards. That one next to the one we just looked at, that skull, is the one we just looked at. The face next to it, that image was everywhere in the late 80s in all the magazines. God, these boards were all over the place. Wow, that takes me back. So there you go. That one went for 720 just for the board. They are that sought after. So that's a cool one. Another Santa Cruz here, 678. That's just the board. But you imagine, I mean, how many of these survived? The 3 or 4 boards I had, I was only skating for a couple of years. They all ended up getting snapped in half. And most boards did. So to survive, and then to survive in this condition, that's what makes them so rare and so sought after. And there's a big scene for skateboard collecting. So there is value in it. Don't walk past these if you see them. And if you see one and you've got no idea if it's old, you could ask whoever, if it's at a car boot sale, you could just ask them, you know, how old is this? Was this yours? What decade is it from? Powell Peralta, another big name in skateboarding. This is a 1986 deck. Look at the condition of that. That's amazing. That went for some good money. Mark Gonzales Vision board. Wow. Over 500 that sold for. Just the board. Dogtown there. Jim Muir Red Dog. Not a name I remember, to be honest. Alva. I remember Alva being a big team back in the 80s. or skate company. There's that Natas deck. Danny Way, that was a big name in the 80s. Well, that's a 91 board, 480. Ah, here we go. Tony Hawk. Now this is a classic Tony Hawk design with the hawk skull on it. There you go. That looks unused. Oh, hang on, it's just jumped. Does it say used? Condition, it doesn't say. Full size original early bottlenose version from 86. And has no cosmetic blemishes from factory. Yeah, this is unused. So there can't be many of those about. That's in Sweden, that's in. Again, Powell Peralta, 450. That's for a complete deck. Caballero, he was a name that, you know, just takes me back. Still skating today, I believe. Steve Caballero, amazing on half pipes. And a lot of his boards had these dragon designs on. That's a real classic. Look at that. And that's for the full setup. This is that in America? Item location, Long Beach, California. There you go. Sold for, in UK money, approximately £373. So yeah, big name, Steve Caballero. So there you go. I mean, we could go on and on and on, but you get the idea. If you find vintage skateboards, whether it's just a deck, whether they're beat up, they are worth picking up. They're worth taking a chance on, even if it's a dud. You know, if you invest a couple of pounds in it, you haven't lost a lot. But you can see from what I've just shown you, here's a board. It's a great example. Let's end on this one. Oh, I've just seen another Steve Caballero. Vintage Powell Peralta skateboard, sold for, hold on, where are we? In British money, £242. And look how used that is. Can I zoom in on these? No, I can't. That's a classic as well, these little bones. Wow. Vintage Powell Peralta Vato Rat complete skateboard. Tracker trucks and OJ2 bones. OJ2, I think they were the wheels, OJs, that rings a bell. So there you go, and that has been well used. Look at it, it's all scratched up. The tail's been worn out. And it's sold in the hundreds. So there you go. Now I did say we'd end on that, but I just noticed there was another Steve Caballero. Look at that. Wow, let's take a quick look at this. That's unused as well by the look of it. Has that been used? Hardly. No, it's never been skated, has it? So there you go. You're unlikely to find an unused one. Put it that way. There you go. I hope that was interesting. Let me just come out of screen share. Hold on. Why can I not find the thing? Stop. Right, you should be back with me. Yeah, anyway, I hope that was interesting and some of that sticks in your mind. If you just remember skateboards have value, you can't go far wrong. The older you get, the more likely it is to be sought after. If you can remember some of the names, even better. Obviously, Tony Hawk, Steve Caballero, any of those names we mentioned, Natas, they will have value. Even if they're beat up, they will have value. So there you go. Hope you found that interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye for now.